Hey there, everybody. Mandy here, and I just looked at the clock whenever I pressed the button, and I realized that I was just a little bit early. That never happens, like just a couple minutes early. But I am so glad that you are able to hop on right now. This was just kind of one of those things that I wasn't going to talk about today, but I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and talk about it. So I didn't even finish drying my hair or anything. So I know that I didn't give y'all a lot of time this time to hop on, but that's okay because you can always watch the replay and everything. So anyway, I am Mandy, and I'm from AmandaMiddleton.me, and I'm so glad that you are here in this group with me, being more than just a mom. Which brings me to, please tell your friends about this this group, because I want it to be an exclusive group to where all of us moms can come together and talk, and it be a safe place to talk. I almost put this on my personal page, this live video, but I was like, no, I want these moms that to be able to talk freely and to comment if you would like, and not have your mom see it or your kids see your comments or whatever. This is a group that only you and the people in this group can see. So I feel very strongly about this topic, so I wanted it to just be us mamas. So please feel free to comment, because that's what I'm here for. All of these topics that I talk about, I feel very strongly about. Because either I've already been through it. I've honestly, it's always I've already been through it and got the t-shirt and everything. But two, I want y'all to be able to talk and have somebody to talk to, because I didn't always have that person. So that is what this group is about. So as you hop on, please say hello. Let us know that you're here. And like I said, as we go through all of this, make sure you comment. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us how you're feeling. This is a safe place. So anyway, again, I am Amanda, or my friends and family call me Mandy. I am from AmandaMiddleton.me, where I blog about anything and everything, family, health, fitness, you name it. It's there. So that is another free source that you can go to, and that you can always resource to if you've got any questions about fitness, health, wellness, mindset, anything. So basically, I am the mama next door that is giving you permission to be more than just a mom, so you can feel fit, energized, and empowered every day, and finally drop that stinking mom guilt, because we all have that mom guilt, right? And we want it gone. So anyway, today I was going to share a couple of stories of mine too. So it was confession time for myself as well as we go through this. And so today we're going to tackle 3 ways to stop burnout dead in its tracks. And we've all experienced burnout, whether it's burnout with motherhood or in our job, or even in your marriage. There are so many places that burnout can happen. And it's a tough place to be, especially whenever you're in your own 4 walls and you're in your little box, and it's really hard to see to the right and to the left, and you're really, it's just hard. So that's where burnout happens. And as you hop on, please say hello. But yeah, so 3 ways to stop burnout dead in its tracks, whether it's with motherhood, whether it is, with your job, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's, just the everyday mundane stuff. As moms, you're coming, you're going, you're taking kids to here and to there, and you're catering to their every need most of the time. You're making them food. You're making them breakfast, lunch, dinner. You're packing their lunches. You're doing this and you're doing that. And sometimes you kind of go into this mode called autopilot. Who here has been in autopilot? I know I can raise my hand and say that I've been there several times. And it's a scary place to be. Hey, Vanda. But yeah, autopilot is just such a hard place to be because most of the time you don't even realize that you're in it, for one thing. And for another thing, autopilot is definitely one of those places where you definitely take out all the emotion. So all the emotion of your everyday stuff, you kind of take all that emotion out and you're just there. You just exist. You're going through the motions of your day. You're making your kids lunches. You're getting them up for breakfast. You're feeding them. You're taking them to school. And then once you pick them up, you go to work, or you go, to your workplace. Or in my instance, I go home and go to work and at my computer. And then you go through, all those things. And you just do all of these things without even thinking about it. Just like those times where I know that I've done this before. You're so used to going to the same exact place that sometimes you end up from point A to point B. And then once you get to point B, you're like, how did I get here? Because your brain was just on autopilot and you just did it, which is kind of scary in itself, but so autopilot is a hard place to be. And I know right after I had my twins, I was in major autopilot because I had taken all the emotion out at certain points after we had the boys, and it wasn't their fault at all. It was just I found myself with a toddler and then 2 babies. And so what happened was I went into full-blown autopilot. One baby's crying. Okay, let's fix that. Another baby's crying. Okay, let's fix that. Okay, this toddler just spilt her water everywhere. Okay, let's fix that. And it's always mama going to fix everything. And mama doing this and mama doing that. And then you find yourself you find yourself kind of taking the emotion out of everything. That little bit of spilled water, used to set you off like, oh my God, but then now it doesn't, because it's just one of those things that happens every day, and you just find yourself cleaning it up, which is fine. But when you do it with every single thing that goes on through your day, it's a dangerous, dangerous place to be. And I find myself saying all the time, I never want to go back to that point, because I'm a very sensitive person, and people who know me know that I pick up on other people's sensitivities. And if they're upset, most of the time I get a little bit upset with them. Because I feel their pain and I have empathy for them. And I cry at a lot of stuff. I cry at TV shows, or I cry at movies, or I cry over, joyful things. I'm just a sensitive person. But whenever I was in autopilot, I really had no idea how to cry. And it took me a really long time to get my tears back. And I know that sounds crazy, but it really did. It took a really long time because I had just taken all the emotion out of everything. Just no emotion was there. Hey, Mindy, all the emotion was gone. And I realized that was a really tough place to be in. And so once I realized what I was doing, I had to get to know myself all over again. I had to know who Mandy, the woman, was, Mandy the person was, not just Mandy the mom, not just Mandy Chris's wife, not just Mandy, Linda and Bobby's daughter, or whatever. I had to know who I was, and I had to get to know myself again. And now I can kind of realize whenever I'm starting to go into autopilot, like before it was, I'd be in autopilot. I was almost in autopilot for a whole year after the boys were born. And then, there have been months at a time where I've been in autopilot, and then days at a time. Now I can kind of sense it, and I kind of realize it before it really gets too deep. But it's taken a long time to get there and to getting to know myself even more. But I have found myself in autopilot just recently, and it's a hard place to be in. Just like, every night, just to tell you a little bit of a story about recently. Every night my kids come into my bedroom, and we have this nightly routine. They'll get their baths upstairs. They all come downstairs. We all meet in my bedroom, which I absolutely love. And we all meet in my bedroom. That's where we have all the essential oils. And I oil them down. And then we say our prayers, and we go back. They go back upstairs, and they go to bed. Well, I like doing this with my kids because if I was not able to touch my child at some point in the day to give them a hug, which I hope it didn't take all day to get to that point, but as mamas, that sometimes the days get away from me. So at least at night, I know that I've got my essential oils. I have to actually touch their feet to put it on there, or touch their wrists or whatever, or touch their back, and they get mama's love in some way. And I know that is our thing. Sorry, I have a tag back here that keeps messing with me. But I know that is our thing that we do, and that is very important to me. And then, of course, we do our prayers afterwards and all that. Well, about a week ago, I realized that we were just kind of going through the motions, or at least I was. And I had taken the emotion out of it. And I was like, okay, you haven't had this on your feet. You get this on your feet. I'm going to rub this on your feet. And then you line up and you come over here and you're going to get your wrist done. And I just totally lost the connection of this whole because easily the kids are at an age right now where they could do this themselves. But I want to do it for them because I want to love on my kids and to hug on them and touch them and touch their little feet, because one day they're going to be grown up and they're going to be like, Mom, that's really weird. Don't touch me on my feet, and stuff like that. So I want to embrace that. But I found myself just going through the motions of it and totally taking the emotion completely out of it, which is not what I wanted. Well then, okay, so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is not what I want. But yet, the next night rolled around, and I still did the same exact thing because I really wasn't thinking. My mind was not in there. I was just, again, going through the emotions, and I had taken the emotion out. I wasn't mindful of what I was really doing. So, it's just hard whenever it comes to being an autopilot. So, and being an autopilot takes you to full burnout. After you get to that point where you've been in full autopilot for so long, you show no emotion, you've had no me time, and you're just doing for everybody else. Guess what? Burnout happens. And whenever it happens, I don't know about you, but I fall flat on my face, my nose hits the pavement, and I'm bloodied up for like 2 weeks. And it's rough because you hit that wall and it's hard to come back. So I hope that these 3 ways to stop burnout dead in its tracks can help somebody today with this, because I know it is such a hard place to be in, and I know that sometimes it just takes somebody else to just knock on those 4 little walls and say, hey, let's get out of your box here. So number 1, know why know your why. Know why you want to get out of this box. Be mindful of why you want to get out of this burnout. You know, just like they always say, I know I've heard multi-level marketers say all the time. I hear children back there. I've heard them say, what is your why? Like your emotional why, not your, like if you wanted to lose weight. I just want to get into my skinny jeans. Hey, dude, that's awesome. I want to get into my skinny jeans too. But why? But why do you want to get into your skinny jeans? How does that make you feel? What emotion does that give you? Why? So you've really got to reach deep down in there, and you've got to figure out why you've got to get out of this burnout. What is it affecting? Who is it affecting? How is it affecting them? Is it affecting you? How is it affecting you? How does it make you feel? And then take that feeling and start digging your way out. Because if you just give that that why of, for my kids. Why for your kids? What does it do to your kids? What does it do for you whenever it happens with your kids or whatever? Pull the emotion back into it and embrace that emotion and figure out your true why. That's exactly what I tell all of my clients. If they want to, I'm sorry, my kids are screaming. Nobody's hurt, so just, it's cool. I promise, nobody's hurt. They're just screaming. But it's like I tell my clients all the time. Someone will come to me and go, I want to lose 50 pounds in 50 days. Okay. I don't know. I'm just pulling out of thin air here. But, okay, why? And then I want to go to my best friend's wedding. Okay, well, why do you want to go to your best friend's wedding 50 pounds less? Well, because, I just want to really look good in this dress. But why do you want to look good in that dress? Most of the time, there's some kind of emotion behind it. And then that is your true why. So find out the why. Know your why of why you want to get out of this burnout, why you want to get out of autopilot, and go with it. Number 2, be mindful of what you've learned. So we just talked about this, and I just talked about this in my story, with my kids, with the essential oils and stuff. I was so mindful that I knew that I was just going through the motions with my kids. I had taken the emotion completely out of it. I knew that, but whenever it came to the next day, I wasn't mindful of what I had just told myself and I had just learned and I had just even prayed about. I wasn't mindful about it, so I just let it go, and guess what? It happened all over again. So be mindful. Be mindful of what you learn, what you read. If you take it into prayer, be mindful of what you hear in prayer and what you learn. And then take it away from there and actually go out into the world with it. Be mindful of what you learn. I know that sometimes I'll do devotionals, and I don't think I have my book right here with me, but it's called Miracle Mornings, and basically what it does is it takes you through different emotions of fears and anxiety and stuff like that. Well, it tells you to go through your day and actually remember these things that you read about in the morning. Well, you got to be mindful of it throughout the day whenever these emotions come up. If you're not mindful of it, it's just going to go in one ear and out the other. So you've got to try. You can't just go through the motions still. If you know that you're taking the emotion out, you're on autopilot, and you're burnt out, you've got to bring that emotion back in, and you've got to be mindful of it. Even, y'all know, if you've seen lives from me or blogs or whatever, I love my sticky notes. One thing that helps me be mindful all the time is I put sticky notes everywhere. And like if I'm dealing with fear that day or something, I put maybe scripture about fear, or maybe I'll put something like, hey chick, what you in fear for? I mean, come on. It's just something that is right there in my face and is saying something about it, so I am mindful of what is going on. And then number 3, recharge. And I mean completely recharge. Like, I know you've heard me talk about me time. Me time is that time that you recharge, you rejuvenate. And I see that my battery is almost dead. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up for y'all. But you've got to recharge. You've got to have that me time. Just a little story today. Well, all this weekend, I think y'all have noticed that there is a pattern going on with me on Facebook. I was in burnout. I was with my business. I was completely in burnout. I was tired and I was run down. It's not easy, but it's something that me and my husband chose to do. But we do get on burnout a lot. And because, for one, we allow ourselves to, and we take the emotion out. Well, I was talking to a mentor just today, and I said, she said, what would you tell your clients to do? I said, I would tell my clients to have some me time, to give back to themselves, to do something for theirself. And then I was like, I've been doing that, and I've been very mindful of that because this past week was my birthday, so I really I did something with it. I had some me time. And then I started thinking, no, I didn't. I didn't have any me time. That time that I spent without children, I was still doing something. I still was surrounded by people, and I was not recharging myself. I mean, granted, I went to work out on my birthday morning, which was awesome because I got to work out in a gym setting, which I haven't been able to do in years since, before my twins. And so, but I was still surrounded by people, and I was taking a class, and I wasn't able to totally give back to my mind, emotionally. And then God loved my husband. He's awesome. He loves me so much because he took me to Beauty and the Beast to see Beauty and the Beast on Saturday. Well, it was alone time, and it was with him, and it was amazing, and it was awesome. But it still wasn't me time, like where I focused on myself. And then I realized I'm not practicing what I'm preaching. So yeah, I didn't have that me time, and I was not replenishing, and I was not recharging. No wonder I was on burnout. And I'm also an introvert. Those of you who do not know me, I am a complete introvert. I go out in public, I have to come home and take a nap. I mean, I'm tired. People make me tired. It is just the way it goes. At church, I'll go to church on Sunday morning. I'm not tired because I did a complete workout at church. I'm tired because I talk to people. And it's not that I don't want to talk to people. I love people, but it makes me tired. So I have to have that alone time and that me time to recharge. And I realized that I was not doing that. So all of those things wrapped up into one will completely put you in burnout and in autopilot and somewhere you do not want to be. So 3 ways to stop burnout dead in its tracks. Know your why. Know why you want to get out of this and crawl out of this hole. You know why you want to get out of this depression, because it can turn into depression. Know why you want to get out of it, your complete why. Number 2, be mindful of what you've learned. So you start reading and learning and doing all those things. Be mindful. Be mindful of what you get through prayer too. And number 3, recharge. Have your me time. And I mean me time, where you completely recharge and it's just about you. Even if you have to just sit there in complete silence and do nothing, but just something, even if it's just for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all it takes sometimes, ladies. It does not take a full-blown hour. Just 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, whatever you can handle, you can get away from your kids for 2 minutes. I promise you. I know it's hard. I've got 3 with me all the time because we homeschool. I get it. I get it. But you got to, for your health, for your kids' health too, and for everything in between. So please, if you would like, you know that this is also a business of mine. I run several programs for fitness, healthy eating, blogging. I have all kinds of programs going on, but this has nothing to do with money right here. Ladies, I know what it feels like to be an autopilot, and I hate to see a mama in burnout and running on autopilot. So I am going to drop a link into the comments, and it is just a link to book a just a chat, a time where me and you can chat. No strings attached, nothing like that. If you need somebody to talk to and to talk this through with, please, please just make that appointment and let's just talk. That's it. Because at that point, being in autopilot and I was in that complete burnout after I had my twins, I was embarrassed to say it in front of my people that loved me the most. And I don't want to see anybody ever go through that again. So if you need anybody to talk to, please I'm going to drop that link in there and let's just schedule a time to chit chat on the phone. No strings attached. We'll just get a cup of coffee and just chat.